FDA tomato salmonella. Alert 7 warning signs your doctor won't mention. Have you eaten tomatoes lately and now you're feeling sick? If you're experiencing stomach problems after eating fresh tomatoes, you need to pay attention right now. There's a serious FDA tomato recall happening because of dangerous bacteria, and millions of people don't know the warning signs that could save their lives. Most people think they just have a regular stomach bug, but salmonella symptoms are completely different and much more dangerous than normal food poisoning signs. I'm going to show you the 7 critical warning signs that doctors often miss when you've been exposed to contaminated tomatoes. These symptoms can turn deadly fast if you don't know what to look for. Plus, I'll tell you exactly what to do if you recognize any of these signs in yourself or someone you love. This information could literally be the difference between a quick recovery and a trip to the emergency room. Right now, there's an active FDA recall alert for tomatoes that have caused a dangerous salmonella outbreak across multiple states. This isn't just another routine recall. The FDA has classified this as a Class 1 FDA recall, which means there's a high chance these tomatoes could cause serious health problems or even death. What makes this situation so concerning is that these contaminated tomatoes were sold in regular grocery stores where families shop every day. The food safety warning affects anyone who buys fresh produce, yet most people have no idea how to recognize the early signs of salmonella poisoning. Unlike typical food recalls that get resolved quickly, this outbreak has been escalating because the symptoms can take up to 3 days to appear, meaning people are getting sick without realizing the connection to the tomatoes they ate. Now I'm going to walk you through each of the 7 warning signs you absolutely need to know. Warning number 1, severe stomach problems. The first warning sign you need to watch for is severe stomach problems that feel completely different from your normal upset stomach. Regular stomach issues might give you loose stools once or twice, but salmonella infection signs include diarrhea that happens 6 to 10 times per day and doesn't stop with normal remedies. These severe diarrhea symptoms are watery, sometimes contain blood or mucus, and come with intense urgency where you can barely make it to the bathroom. What makes this different from typical contaminated food symptoms is that the diarrhea gets progressively worse instead of better, and you'll feel completely drained of energy after each episode. The liquid loss from this type of diarrhea can be dangerous because you're losing essential electrolytes like sodium and potassium that your body needs to function properly. You might also notice that the diarrhea has a particularly foul smell that's different from normal bowel movements, and it often comes with cramping that feels like your intestines are being squeezed. If you're having more than 4 loose stools in one day and they're not improving with rest or medication, this is when you need to start taking the situation seriously and consider that it might be connected to something you ate recently. The key difference is that normal stomach upset usually improves within 24 hours, but salmonella diarrhea typically gets worse during the first 2 days. Warning number 2, intense cramping pain. The second critical warning sign is intense cramping pain that feels nothing like ordinary stomach discomfort. One of the major salmonella warning signs is cramping that comes in powerful waves and makes you double over in pain. Regular stomach pain from eating too much or having gas typically feels dull and spreads across your entire belly, but abdominal cramps food poisoning creates sharp stabbing sensations that focus around your lower belly and the area just below your belly button. What makes this particularly concerning is that these cramps don't respond to typical remedies. You might try antacids, heating pads, or over-the-counter pain medications, but nothing provides relief because this pain comes from bacteria attacking the lining of your intestines. The cramping follows a specific pattern where it builds up intensely for several minutes, gives you a brief break, then returns even stronger. This cycle can continue for hours and often gets worse instead of better with time. When cramping becomes this severe and persistent, especially if it's accompanied by other digestive issues, you're looking at a potential stomach pain emergency that requires immediate medical attention rather than waiting to see if it improves on its own. Warning number 3, high fever and chills. The third warning sign is a high fever that develops rapidly and doesn't respond like normal fevers do. When you're dealing with salmonella fever symptoms, your temperature can spike to 101 degrees Fahrenheit or higher within just a few hours of other symptoms starting. This isn't the gradual temperature rise you might get with a cold or flu. This fever hits fast and hard. What makes this particularly dangerous is when the fever comes with uncontrollable chills that make you shake violently even when you feel burning hot. These chills indicate that your body is fighting a serious bacterial infection, and this combination creates what medical professionals recognize as a high-temperature infection that needs immediate treatment. The fever often fluctuates dramatically, making you feel like you're burning up 1 minute and freezing cold the next. This becomes a food poisoning emergency when your temperature reaches 102 degrees or higher, especially if you can't keep fluids down to stay hydrated. At this point, your body is losing the battle against the bacteria, and the infection could spread to other parts of your body if you don't get proper medical care immediately. Warning number 4, can't keep food or water down. The fourth warning sign is persistent nausea and vomiting that's completely different from regular stomach upset. Salmonella nausea vomiting doesn't just make you feel queasy. It creates constant, overwhelming nausea that leads to forceful vomiting every time you try to eat or drink anything. Regular nausea might make you feel sick for a while, but you can usually sip water or nibble crackers to feel better. This creates an extremely dangerous cycle because your body desperately needs fluids to fight the infection, but you can't keep anything down long enough for it to help. What happens is that every time you vomit, you lose more essential fluids and electrolytes that your body needs to recover, making you feel even sicker. The dehydration warning signs start with feeling dizzy when you stand up, having a dry mouth that doesn't improve with small sips of water, and feeling weak or confused. This situation becomes critical for food poisoning recovery because without proper hydration, your body can't flush out the bacteria effectively. When you can't keep fluids down for more than 8 hours, especially if you're also experiencing other symptoms, you need emergency medical care to prevent serious complications. Warning number 5, feeling weak and confused. The fifth warning sign is sudden weakness and confusion that many people dismiss as just feeling tired from being sick. Salmonella dehydration symptoms start subtly. You might feel lightheaded when you get up from sitting, or find yourself struggling to concentrate on simple tasks like reading or following a conversation. This food poisoning weakness is different from normal tiredness because it comes with mental fog that makes it hard to think clearly or remember things. The contamination affects body in ways that go beyond just stomach problems. When your brain doesn't get enough fluids, you might feel confused about what day it is, have trouble making simple decisions, or feel unusually sleepy during the day. Here's a simple test you can do. Pinch the skin on the back of your hand and let go. If it takes more than 2 seconds to snap back flat, you're getting dehydrated. This becomes dangerous when the weakness makes it hard to walk steadily, or when confusion affects your judgment about seeking medical help. If you find yourself feeling disoriented, having trouble staying awake, or if family members notice you're not acting like yourself, these are serious signs that dehydration is affecting your brain function. Warning number 6, severe headache. The sixth warning sign is a severe headache that feels completely different from your typical headaches or even migraines. Salmonella headache symptoms create intense throbbing pain that usually centers around your forehead and temples, and it doesn't respond to regular pain relievers like aspirin or ibuprofen. This isn't the dull ache you might get from stress or lack of sleep. This headache feels like constant pressure inside your skull that gets worse when you move your head or try to focus on anything. What makes this particularly concerning is that severe headaches can indicate food poisoning complications where the infection is affecting more than just your digestive system. When bacterial infection signs include headaches along with the stomach problems we've discussed, it means the bacteria or the toxins they produce might be affecting your nervous system or causing dangerous levels of dehydration. This becomes a medical emergency when the headache comes with neck stiffness, sensitivity to light, or makes it difficult to think clearly. If you develop a severe headache within 72 hours of eating tomatoes, and it's accompanied by any of the other symptoms we've covered, you need immediate medical attention because this could indicate the infection is spreading beyond your intestines. Warning number 7, blood in your stool. The seventh and most critical warning sign is blood in your stool, which represents the most serious salmonella symptoms you can experience. This bloody stool food poisoning can appear in several different ways that you need to recognize immediately. You might see bright red streaks of blood mixed in with your stool, dark red clots, or your entire bowel movement might look dark and tarry like coffee grounds. Sometimes the blood isn't obvious. Your stool might just look much darker than normal or have a different consistency than usual. This is by far the most dangerous of all the medical emergency signs because it means the bacteria has severely damaged the lining of your intestines. When Salmonella bacteria multiply in your gut, they release toxins that can literally eat through the protective barrier in your intestines, causing internal bleeding. This damage allows the bacteria to potentially enter your bloodstream, which can lead to life-threatening complications affecting your heart, brain, and other vital organs. What makes this so urgent is that internal bleeding can worsen rapidly, especially when combined with dehydration from vomiting and diarrhea. If you see any amount of blood in your stool after eating tomatoes, even if it's just a small streak, you need to call emergency services or go to the emergency room immediately. This is not something you can treat at home or wait to see if it gets better. Blood in your stool during a suspected Salmonella infection requires immediate professional medical intervention to prevent potentially fatal complications. Critical timing information. Understanding the Salmonella symptoms timeline is crucial for getting help when you need it most. After contaminated tomato exposure, symptoms typically start appearing anywhere from 6 hours to 3 days later, with most people getting sick within 12 to 36 hours. This food poisoning incubation period is why many people don't connect their illness to the tomatoes they ate. By the time you feel sick, you might not remember what you ate 2 days ago. The most dangerous window is usually the first 24 to 48 hours after symptoms begin, when dehydration happens fastest and complications are most likely to develop. This is when you need to be most vigilant about monitoring your condition and seeking help if symptoms worsen. The timing matters because early medical intervention can prevent serious complications, while waiting too long can lead to hospitalization or life-threatening situations. As for how long Salmonella lasts, most healthy adults recover within 4 to 7 days without treatment, but children, elderly people, and those with weakened immune systems can be sick for weeks. Recovery time depends heavily on how quickly you get proper medical care and maintain hydration during the illness. Here are the immediate action steps you need to take right now. First, you need to know when to see Dr. Food Poisoning versus when to call emergency services. Call 911 immediately if you have blood in your stool, can't keep fluids down for more than 8 hours, have a fever over 102 degrees, or feel confused and disoriented. For other symptoms, contact your regular doctor within 24 hours to discuss Salmonella treatment options. If you have tomatoes at home and you're not sure where they came from, throw them away immediately as part of your FDA recall response. Check your refrigerator and freezer, because Salmonella bacteria can survive cold temperatures. Clean any surfaces that touched the tomatoes using a bleach solution, 1 tablespoon of bleach mixed with 1 gallon of water. These food safety precautions include washing cutting boards, knives, and countertops thoroughly. When you contact medical professionals, tell them exactly when you ate tomatoes, what symptoms you're experiencing, and how long you've had them. Mention the current recall situation, because this helps doctors make faster decisions about your treatment and testing needs. Moving forward, there are simple steps you can take to prevent Salmonella infection and protect your family. The most important food contamination prevention strategy is to wash all produce thoroughly under running water, even items you plan to peel. For tomato safety tips, avoid buying tomatoes that have cuts, bruises, or soft spots where bacteria can hide, and always store them in the refrigerator rather than on your counter. Foodborne illness prevention also includes washing your hands for at least 20 seconds before and after handling fresh produce, and keeping raw vegetables separate from ready-to-eat foods. When in doubt about any produce recall, check the FDA website or throw questionable items away. Let me quickly remind you of the 7 warning signs: severe ongoing diarrhea, intense cramping pain, high fever with chills, inability to keep fluids down, weakness and confusion, severe headaches and blood in your stool. These symptoms can save your life if you recognize them early and get proper medical care. Stay informed, trust your instincts about your health, and don't hesitate to seek medical help when something doesn't feel right. Your health and safety are worth taking seriously. If this video helped you recognize these important warning signs, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family. This information could save someone's life. Subscribe for more health and safety updates, and let me know in the comments if you have any questions about food safety.